Jenn Tran opened up about her parents' relationship on The Bachelor. Court docs shed more light on the messy divorce. Keep reading for all the details that explain more about her upbringing. What Jenn Tran said about parents' divorce on The Bachelor. Jenn Tran was extremely open with Joey Graziadei on season 28 of The Bachelor about the turmoil in her family. She told him that her parents were fighting all the time, and she basically had to take care of herself. It was a really traumatic place to grow up in. While Joey Graziadei is very close to his father, that's not the case for Jenn Tran. She confessed that her father, son Tran, lived in the basement of her family's home for years amid her parents' crumbling marriage. "I'd always felt so unwanted by my dad. I never felt truly loved," Jenn Tran said. On her season of The Bachelorette, she expressed how proud she was of her parents for succeeding in the United States after leaving Vietnam. "I'll never forget how hard it was for them to build themselves up and give me the life that I have today." Court documents reveal her mom's alimony amount. Jenn Tran's mom, Tran, filed for divorce in 2014 after 31 years of marriage, but it took a year for it to be finalized. Her parents reportedly struggled to come to an agreement on several issues. According to the U.S. Sun, Jen's father missed several court dates and was ordered to pay the costs of an interpreter. He also had to pay his former wife $958 in alimony. Custody and child support payments were determined after the family's home was sold. In addition to Jenn, the Trans have a son named James. Jenn Tran and her family lived in a modest 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in New Jersey. The U.S. Sun reported that the home was in the process of being sold during the divorce proceedings. A large percentage of the money from the sale went toward Jenn Tran's education. She received a degree in molecular biology from the University of Wisconsin and was in the process of studying to be a physician's assistant before joining The Bachelor. She plans to return to school after reality TV. Viewers will get to meet Jenn Tran's family later this season when they meet her final 2 suitors. It seems she's still estranged from her father, but her mother and brother are expected to appear on The Bachelorette. Jenn Tran, the poised and driven contestant on The Bachelor and later the lead on The Bachelorette, captivated audiences not only with her charm but also her resilience. Behind her confident demeanor lies a difficult past shaped by her parents' tumultuous relationship, which she candidly shared with Joey Graziadei during The Bachelor season 28. However, court documents regarding her parents' divorce paint an even clearer picture of the strife that defined her upbringing. Jenn's openness about her family background on national television has struck a chord with many, especially as she has spoken about her parents' immigrant journey and the emotional fallout of their marriage. The messy divorce, which spanned over a year and involved multiple legal battles, reveals deeper layers of tension, financial struggles, and unresolved family dynamics. As fans of the show dig deeper into her past, the court documents provide significant insight into how the challenges Jenn faced growing up shaped her and still influence her today. Jenn Tran's story about her parents' marriage unraveled on The Bachelor when she found herself on a vulnerable date with Joey Graziadei. In a heart-to-heart conversation, Jenn laid bare the dysfunction that plagued her childhood. "My parents were fighting all the time," Jenn told Joey, her voice heavy with emotion. "I basically had to take care of myself. It was a really traumatic place to grow up in." Her words resonated deeply with viewers, who saw a side of Jenn that contrasted with her composed exterior. While Joey had spoken about his close relationship with his father, Jenn shared a starkly different narrative. Her father, son Tran, had been emotionally distant, and his presence was more of an absence. "I'd always felt so unwanted by my dad," Jenn confessed, a truth that still haunted her. "I never felt truly loved." The painful distance between her and her father was compounded by the fact that son Tran had physically distanced himself from the family too. According to Jenn, he lived in the basement of their New Jersey home for years while the marriage crumbled. This isolation contributed to Jenn's emotional burden of caring for herself in an environment that lacked stability and parental support. Despite these hardships, Jenn also took time to acknowledge the sacrifices her parents made for her and her brother James after they immigrated to the United States from Vietnam. During an emotional moment on The Bachelorette, she proudly expressed, "I'll never forget how hard it was for them to build themselves up and give me the life that I have today." However, the triumphs of her parents' immigrant journey were often overshadowed by the dysfunction of their marriage, a tension that played out not only in their personal lives, but also in the courtrooms during their divorce. Jenn's parents, Sun and Jenn Tran, were married for 31 years before Tran finally filed for divorce in 2014. Court documents reveal that their split was far from amicable. The divorce dragged on for over a year, with Sun missing several key court dates, leading to the presiding judge ordering him to pay various court-related fees, including the cost of an interpreter. The documents also provide an eye-opening glimpse into the financial strain the divorce placed on the family. Sun Tran was ordered to pay $958 a month in alimony to his former wife, Tran. The couple had long battled over finances, with Tran seeking security after dedicating most of her life to raising their children while Sun's income had dwindled in the years leading up to their separation. One of the major points of contention between the two was the sale of their family home. The modest 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in New Jersey had been Jenn's childhood refuge, despite the turmoil within its walls. The court documents revealed that the sale of the home was essential to settling their financial disputes. Sun and Tran fought bitterly over the division of the proceeds, but in the end, a large percentage of the money was earmarked for Jenn's education. Despite her complicated relationship with her parents, Jenn has often expressed gratitude for their financial support of her academic endeavors. "They gave me the life I have today," Jenn acknowledged. Her parents' sacrifices allowed her to earn a degree in molecular biology from the University of Wisconsin. She was on track to become a physician's assistant before reality TV took her on an unexpected detour. The court documents shed light on an already strained relationship between Jenn and her father. Although Jenn spoke about feeling unwanted by her father on The Bachelor, the divorce proceedings and his disengagement from the legal process underscored just how absent Sun Tran was from his family's life. His lack of involvement in the divorce proceedings mirrored the emotional distance Jenn had felt for most of her childhood. It seemed that Sun's retreat into the basement during the final years of his marriage was both a literal and figurative withdrawal from his family. Jenn's words on the show painted a painful picture of a young girl forced to grow up too quickly, finding herself without the emotional support of her father when she needed it the most. In contrast, Jenn has maintained a closer relationship with her mother, Tran. During the divorce, Tran was the one who took on the burden of ensuring that Jenn and her brother, James, were cared for, even as she navigated the challenges of a legal battle. Jenn's connection to her mother was evident when she spoke on The Bachelorette about her parents' resilience and the sacrifices they made to give their children a better life in America. But despite her pride in her parents' immigrant story, the pain of their divorce and her father's neglect is something that continues to weigh heavily on Jenn's heart. Jenn's parents' messy split undoubtedly shaped the person she has become. Growing up in an environment fraught with conflict and emotional distance, she learned early on how to rely on herself. This independence has been a defining characteristic of Jenn's journey on both The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. As someone who was forced to grow up quickly, Jenn developed a strong sense of resilience, which viewers have come to admire. She has spoken openly about the challenges she faced, using her past not as an excuse but as a motivation to move forward and create a better future for herself. Despite the pain of her upbringing, Jenn has never shied away from expressing gratitude for the opportunities she has had, particularly when it comes to her education. The sale of the family home, though painful, provided her with the financial support she needed to pursue her academic goals. Jenn was always determined to make the most of her opportunities, and her time at the University of Wisconsin, where she earned a degree in molecular biology, was a testament to that drive.